Welcome to Iron Will Stories. Before we begin this story of ultimate professional revenge, corporate justice, and the price of arrogance, tell me in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this need to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us keep these voices alive. Marcus opened the conference room door and saw the man who had fired him 5 years ago sitting across the table. Richard Blackwell still wore that same arrogant smile, until Marcus's assistant said, "Mr. Thompson, Blackwell Industries is waiting for your acquisition offer." That's when Richard's expression changed forever. Marcus Thompson, 32 years old, worked as a senior software engineer at Blackwell Industries. He was one of the company's most talented programmers. The cloud computing and AI systems he developed had earned the company millions of dollars. That Friday, Richard Blackwell called him into his office. Richard, 45, was the company's owner and CEO. He came from a wealthy family. His father had founded the company. Richard had never worked particularly hard. He'd simply inherited everything. "Marcus, I need to talk to you," Richard said, sitting behind his desk. Marcus took the chair across from him, thinking they'd discuss a promotion. His latest project had been a huge success. "I'm letting you go," Richard said flatly. Marcus was shocked. "What? Why?" "The company is restructuring. Your position is no longer necessary." This was a lie, and Marcus knew it. The real reason was more complex. Marcus was an exceptional engineer, and Richard felt threatened by that. In board meetings, Marcus's projects were always praised. Richard feared his own incompetence would be exposed. "This decision is final," Richard said. "Today is your last day." Marcus stood up. "Richard, this is unfair. I've contributed so much to this company." Richard smiled. That arrogant, condescending smile. "Marcus, face reality. You're just an engineer. I'm a CEO. You'll never reach my level. I've worked here for 5 years. The value of my projects belong to the company," Richard interrupted. "You were just a working tool. We don't need you anymore." Marcus tried to breathe. "Will you at least give me a reference?" Richard's smile deepened. "No. Furthermore, I'll tell other companies in the sector that you were a problematic employee. If you make any move against me or my company, I'll destroy you completely." As Marcus left the company building that day, he thought his 5-year career was over. When he got home, he told his wife Sarah what had happened. "How is that possible?" Sarah asked. "You're one of the best engineers." "Richard Blackwell has an ego problem. He sees me as a threat." The following weeks were disastrous. Marcus looked for work, but Richard had kept his word. Bad things had been said about him at every major company in the sector. Nobody wanted to hire him. Their savings began to run out. Sarah was pregnant. Hospital expenses were mounting. Mortgage payments were falling behind. Marcus fell into depression. 3 months later, Marcus made a decision. If nobody would hire him, he'd start his own business. He set up a small office in the garage. With his old laptop, meager savings, and unlimited determination, he began. With Sarah's support, he founded Thompson Industries. His first client was a small accounting firm. He developed simple software for them. He earned $5,000. Then he created an appointment system for a dental clinic. Another $10,000. Marcus worked day and night. He gave up sleep, social life, everything. He had one goal: to show Richard Blackwell how wrong he'd been. 6 months later, Marcus caught a big break. Stellar Corporation, a large technology company, was looking for new software. Marcus submitted a proposal. He met with Stellar's IT director, Lisa Chen. "Mr. Thompson, your portfolio is very impressive," Lisa said, "but your company is very new. This is a big project." "Give me a chance," Marcus said. "I can offer you things Blackwell Industries can't." Lisa looked interested. "You know Blackwell Industries?" "Very well. Their technology is 5 years old. I can offer you the future." Marcus got the project. The $500,000 deal was groundbreaking for Thompson Industries. Within 2 years, Thompson Industries had become a major technology company. Marcus systematically won over Blackwell Industries' former clients. He offered them better technology, better service. Sarah said one evening, "Marcus, you can slow down now. You've succeeded." "Not yet," Marcus said. "I still have things to do." Because Marcus hadn't yet confronted Richard Blackwell. In the 3rd year, Blackwell Industries began experiencing serious problems. Clients were switching to Thompson Industries. Richard couldn't innovate. He just tried to get by with obsolete technologies. Marcus researched Blackwell's former clients. He made better offers to them, one by one. Within 6 months, he'd taken 40% of Blackwell's revenue. Richard was panicking. He started laying off staff. The company was shrinking. In the 4th year, Marcus was ready for his big move. Marcus met with Global Tech Corporation, Blackwell Industries' biggest client. He had dinner with Global Tech's CEO, David Martinez. "David, I can offer you a better deal," Marcus said. "Thompson Industries? I know you, Marcus. You've become a legend in the sector. But we have a 10-year contract with Blackwell." Contracts can be broken, especially when the other party isn't fulfilling their obligations. Marcus detailed the shortcomings in Blackwell's services to Global Tech. He also demonstrated the superior technologies Thompson Industries could offer. A week later, Global Tech terminated their contract. This meant Blackwell Industries lost 60% of their revenue. In the 5th year, Blackwell Industries was on the brink of bankruptcy. Richard was desperate. He had to sell the company. Marcus had been waiting for this moment. Thompson Industries now had 500 employees and $50 million in annual revenue. Marcus had become one of the sector's most respected names. That day, Marcus called his lawyer. "Tom, I want to buy Blackwell Industries." "Marcus, that company is almost finished." "Why?" "Personal reasons." Marcus sent an acquisition offer to Blackwell Industries. Richard knew he had no other choice. The company would be completely bankrupt within 2 months. A meeting was scheduled. Marcus went to the Blackwell Industries building. It was the first time he'd entered that building in 5 years. The security guard didn't recognize him. "Who will you be meeting with, sir?" "Richard Blackwell, Marcus Thompson, CEO of Thompson Industries." The security guard was surprised. Everyone knew Thompson Industries now. Marcus entered the conference room. Richard was waiting there. At first, he didn't recognize him. 5 years had changed Marcus dramatically. He looked more confident, more powerful, more authoritative. "Mr. Thompson, welcome," Richard said, standing up. Marcus smiled. "Thank you, Richard." Richard's face changed. He recognized that voice, but how could it be? "Marcus?" he whispered. "Yes, Richard. Marcus Thompson, the person you fired 5 years ago." Richard collapsed into his chair. This is impossible." "Impossible?" Marcus sat down at the table. "5 years ago you told me, 'You'll never reach my level.' You were wrong." "Marcus, I admit my mistake," Richard said. "Firing you was wrong." "A mistake?" Marcus laughed. "Richard, you didn't just fire me. You bad-mouthed me to everyone in the sector. You tried to end my career. My family almost starved." Richard was silent. He didn't know what to say. "But you know what, Richard? You did me the biggest favor." "How?" "Because if you hadn't fired me, I never would have started my own company. I never would have discovered my true potential." Marcus placed a file on the table. "My offer for Blackwell Industries is in this file." Richard opened the file. The offer amount was below the company's value, but better than bankruptcy. "My terms are these," Marcus said. The company name will change. It will become Thompson Dynamics. You will have no role in the company. You will leave completely. Marcus, please. This is the company my father founded. And you destroyed it. When your father died, this company was the sector leader. 5 years later, it's bankrupt. Because you chose arrogance over innovation. Richard hung his head. You're right, I was never as good as my father. I envied you. Your talent scared me. You should have been scared, Marcus said, because I was always better than you, and you knew it. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm truly sorry. Marcus stood up. Your apology is accepted, Richard, but that doesn't change anything. Richard knew he had no other choice. He signed the agreement. Marcus, what happens now? You'll leave. You'll look for a new career. Maybe this time you'll learn humility. Richard gathered his files. I worked at this company for 20 years. And in 20 years you nearly destroyed it. Now my 20 years begin. Marcus held a meeting with Blackwell Industries employees. Most didn't know him. I'm Marcus Thompson, CEO of Thompson Industries. I've acquired this company. The employees were shocked. They'd been bought by their biggest competitor. Nobody will lose their job, Marcus said. But things will change. This company will be renewed. An older engineer, Robert, asked, Sir, did you know Richard? Marcus smiled. Yes, Robert, I knew him very well. Within 6 months, the old Blackwell Industries had completely changed. Reborn as Thompson Dynamics, Marcus updated all technologies and started new projects. Former clients began returning. This isn't the same company anymore, they said. They're much better. Sarah asked, Marcus, you've had your revenge. Are you happy now? This wasn't revenge, Sarah. This was justice. Richard had started a small consulting company. He lived modestly. He was no longer arrogant, but a more humble person. One day he sent Marcus an email. Marcus, what you've achieved is incredible. I learned a lot from you. Thank you. Marcus replied, Richard, the past is in the past. I wish you success. 5 years later, Thompson Dynamics had become the sector leader. Marcus was now a billionaire businessman. He had 3 companies and 2,000 employees. But most importantly, he had his family. He lived happily with Sarah and their 2 children. That day he'd made the cover of a technology magazine. Marcus Thompson, from fired to billionaire. Marcus began giving conferences at universities. Young people, he would say, when life treats you unfairly, you have 2 choices. Either you accept being a victim, or you turn that injustice into power. The day I was fired, I thought it was the worst day of my life. Actually, it was the best day, because that day I began to discover my true potential. Marcus sat in his office on the 40th floor of Thompson Dynamics' new headquarters. From the window he could see the old Blackwell Industries building. Now it was Thompson Dynamics' R&D center. His assistant Sarah, not his wife, another Sarah, entered. Mr. Thompson, there's a new application. Richard Blackwell wants to work as a consultant. Marcus smiled. Tell him Thompson Dynamics always keeps its doors open to talented people. Have him schedule an interview. Because Marcus had learned that the most beautiful form of revenge is forgiveness. The strong don't crush the weak. They lift them up. Driving home that evening, Marcus thought about himself 10 years ago. An unemployed, desperate, depressed man. Now he was one of the sector's most powerful names. Life is strange, he thought. Sometimes your biggest enemy is your greatest teacher. If Richard Blackwell hadn't fired him, Marcus never would have been this successful. It was ironic. At home, he hugged Sarah and the children. How was your day? Sarah asked. Perfect, Marcus said. Everything went as planned. Because sometimes the most beautiful form of revenge is being so successful that the person who wronged you has to thank you.